Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make your own snowflake coaster using Tinkercad's 3D design. Let's get right into it. The first thing that we're going to do is that in Tinkercad we will go to Designs and we will create a new 3D design. Once we're inside, we're going to change the name to something so that we can find it in the future. And now we can get making. The first thing that we're going to do is we are going to drag in a cylinder. I'm going to change the color of this cylinder to white, but you can change it to any color you like. And next, I'm going to adjust the size of our cylinder. I'm going to set the width of our cylinder to be 80. And I'm going to set the height of our cylinder to be 80, the length of our cylinder to be 80 as well. You can make your coaster larger or smaller, but I think 80 is a good number. I'm also going to adjust the sides of my coaster up to 64. This is to make the coaster rounder and make it look a little bit nicer. The last thing I'm going to do is adjust the height of my coaster. I'm going to set the coaster to be 1 millimeter tall. Now that I've made that coaster, I am going to copy with this button up here, and I'm going to paste it once, twice. So now I have 3 of these little cylinders. I'll click on one of these, and I'm going to adjust the color, and then I'm going to move this second one up 1 millimeter. Then I'm going to go to this second coaster, I'm going to adjust it to a different color, and I'm going to move it up. I'm going to increase the height by 2. Now I'm going to select all 3 of these shapes by right-clicking and dragging so that I have them all 3, and then I'm going to use the Align tool up here. And this will line my 3 shapes up like so. Now, in order to make our snowflake coaster, we need to have something that's going to be able to catch any water that drips off of our drink. For this coaster, I'm going to search in shapes, and I'm going to find a snowflake. I'll be using this yellow one right here. Now, I'm going to adjust the length and width of this snowflake a little bit. I think I want it to be 70 millimeters tall, and I want it to be 70 millimeters wide as well. That looks good. I'm also going to adjust the height a little bit. And now I'm going to turn this into a hole by clicking this button right here. Now I'll click and drag, After that, I'm going to lift up this snowflake 2 millimeters. And then I'm actually going to copy and paste the snowflake, so I have 2, and I'm just going to move this one out of the way for now. I don't need it quite yet. Now, I'm going to select these 4 objects, the 3 cylinders and the hole-shaped snowflake, and I'm going to line them up on the coaster. So I'll line them up here, and then I'll line them up here. Wonderful. Now I can select the snowflake, and by holding the Shift key, I can also select the top part of this coaster. Now that I have these 2 shapes selected, I'm going to group them together. And now we can see that we have a snowflake cut into the top of our coaster. However, I want this coaster to be a little bit more decorative, a little bit more complicated, so I'm actually going to go and I'm going to take that other snowflake that we made, and I'm going to rotate it by 90 degrees. Now, if I select all of my shapes and I line them up on the coaster again, line them up, we can see that the second snowflake is going to be slightly different. However, I'm going to take this duplicated snowflake and I'm going to move it down 1 millimeter. I'm also going to duplicate it with this button right here so that I have 2 identical snowflakes on top of each other. Now, this first snowflake, I'm going to merge with the top layer by holding the Shift key and clicking on the top dark blue part. With my two shapes selected, I can go ahead and hit Create Group. And you can see that it's been removed from the top portion. Now I'm actually going to select the light blue cylinder that's underneath it, and I'm going to select the snowflake by holding the Shift key, and I'm going to group them together as well. And now, as you can see, our snowflake has a bit of a different pattern that's being shown. Now, this is obviously all in digital design, and the colors that we see on screen are not representative of our final design and how it will print. However, we can make it so that our coaster will print in 3 different colors, and I'll show you how to do that next. First, we'll go over to the export, and we are going to export our design as an STL. Once it's downloaded, we'll open up Prusa Slicer, and after it loads in, we can click Add and add our coaster to the build plate. You'll want to use a 0.24 millimeter layer height, and you can hit Slice now. Now, as you can see, our snowflake is all going to be one color. We're not going to have that different color change effect. However, we can add it by adding a color change function command into our slicer's G-code. We'll scroll down until we see a red top solid layer, and then we'll go up one more layer after that. We'll click on this little plus, and we can see that there's now a second color in our slicer. When we hit print now, it will print in our first color until it gets that layer, at which point the printer will pause and wait for us to change the filament. We can add another color change effect to get the full effect of our design added in. We'll go to layer 9, we'll hit add a color, and there we go. If we now hit slice one more time and export G-code, we can now export our snowflake coaster with 3 colors to print on our 3D printer. That's everything from me. I hope that you enjoyed this project, and if you'd like to see other different kinds of projects where I show you how to make a One Piece logo, a Batman logo, or something else on a coaster, please like the video and leave a comment on the video so that I know what people would like to see next. Either way, have a happy holiday, and I hope to see you all soon.